The TurboExpress. The TurboExpress, launched by NEC in late 1990, was an ambitious attempt to redefine handheld gaming. At a time when Nintendo's Game Boy dominated the market with a simple monochrome screen and long battery life, NEC tried to leap ahead by bringing full console-quality gaming into the palms of players' hands. What set the TurboExpress apart was its ability to play the same HuCard cartridges as the TurboGrafx 16 home console. This meant that, for the first time, gamers didn't need to buy separate handheld versions of their favorite titles. They could take their entire existing library on the road. In the early 90s, this was nothing short of revolutionary. This bold step showed NEC's vision for the future of portable gaming, even if the market wasn't quite ready for it. The idea of carrying your home console's games wherever you went was ahead of its time, and hinted at the hybrid gaming models we see today. Cutting-edge hardware. The TurboExpress used the same 8-bit HUC 6280 CPU as the TurboGrafx 16, which was already known for its impressive arcade-quality performance. Packed into a handheld, this power was remarkable. The most striking feature was its 2.6-inch active matrix color LCD screen. In an era where most handhelds like the Game Boy and the Atari Lynx struggled with ghosting or lacked vibrant colors, the TurboExpress displayed games in up to 512 colors at a resolution of 240 by 256 pixels. This made side-scrolling shooters, platformers, and RPGs come to life in ways portable gamers had never seen. The handheld also featured a D-pad, 2 responsive action buttons, and start/select buttons. It had a headphone jack for stereo sound, a brightness dial, and a volume wheel, showing NEC's attention to user experience. These features made it feel more like a premium portable entertainment device than a typical handheld console. The shared library advantage. One of the most forward-thinking aspects of the TurboExpress was its compatibility with TurboGrafx 16 games. NEC used HuCards, credit card-sized game cartridges that were smaller and more portable than typical NES or Genesis cartridges. This compatibility was a major selling point. Instead of buying separate, simplified versions of games for handheld play, gamers could play full-scale titles like Bonk's Adventure, Keith Courage in Alpha Zones, and R-Type anywhere. This concept, commonplace today with hybrid consoles like the Nintendo Switch, was groundbreaking in 1990. NEC essentially blurred the line between home and portable gaming decades before the rest of the industry caught up. Display quality and visual impact. The TurboExpress's screen was one of its defining features. While other handheld consoles were stuck with blurry monochrome visuals, the active matrix LCD delivered crisp, colorful images that brought characters and environments to life. Action-packed shooters like blazing lasers and platformers like Bonk's Revenge benefited enormously from the screen's clarity and color palette. For gamers used to Game Boy's gray-green tones, the leap in quality was jaw-dropping. However, this cutting-edge display came at a cost. It consumed battery power at an alarming rate, often draining 6 AA batteries in just 3 hours. This made long gaming sessions expensive and inconvenient, especially compared to the Game Boy's 10 to 12 hours on fewer batteries. Audio capabilities. In addition to its superior visuals, the TurboExpress offered excellent audio for its time. Using headphones, players could experience true stereo sound. Games like Wise Book 1 and 2 showcased orchestral-style chiptunes that felt immersive and rich compared to the tinny mono sound of other handhelds. Even simple platformers sounded fuller, with more depth in music and sound effects. This focus on audio fidelity made the TurboExpress feel like a premium product for serious gamers, reinforcing NEC's aim to compete at the highest level. Turbo Link multiplayer. Another innovation was the Turbo Link cable. This accessory allowed 2 TurboExpress units to connect for head-to-head multiplayer gaming. While link cables became a common feature later on the Game Boy for titles like Pokemon, NEC's Turbo Link was ahead of the curve. Multiplayer games like Moto Rotor allowed friends to compete or cooperate in real time, an impressive achievement for a handheld console in 1990. The downside was that both players needed a TurboExpress and the same game cartridge, which limited how widespread multiplayer gaming became. Still, it highlighted NEC's forward-thinking approach to handheld connectivity. High price and accessibility issues. Despite its technological leaps, the TurboExpress faced significant barriers to success. At launch, it retailed for around $249 to $299, far higher than the Game Boy's $89. Additionally, the high battery consumption meant players often had to spend extra on AC adapters or a constant supply of batteries. For many families, this made the TurboExpress feel like a luxury item rather than an accessible gaming device. The console's high price positioned it for hardcore enthusiasts rather than the mass market, limiting its sales potential in North America and Europe. Game library limitations. While the TurboExpress could access the entire TurboGrafx-16 library, this was not as advantageous as NEC hoped. The TurboGrafx-16, despite being a hit in Japan as the PC engine, struggled to compete with the NES and Sega Genesis in North America. This meant that the pool of popular games available for the TurboExpress was relatively small compared to its rivals. It lacked blockbuster franchises that could drive hardware sales like Nintendo's Mario or Sega's Sonic the Hedgehog. As a result, the TurboExpress's unique hardware often outshone its available software, which made it harder to attract mainstream gamers. Durability and technical challenges. The TurboExpress also suffered from durability issues. The advanced screen was prone to developing dead pixels, which marred the playing experience. Another common problem was failing capacitors, which led to audio distortion or complete sound loss over time. In contrast, the Game Boy's simpler design was far more reliable, giving parents confidence in its longevity. These hardware problems not only frustrated early adopters, but also damaged NEC's reputation for quality, especially as the devices aged, legacy, and influence. Despite its commercial shortcomings, the TurboExpress left an enduring legacy. It proved that handheld consoles could deliver near-home console experiences. Its innovations, full-color displays, shared libraries with home consoles, and multiplayer connectivity inspired future devices like the Sega Nomad, Sony's PlayStation Portable, PSP, and even the hybrid concept of the Nintendo Switch. For many gaming historians, the TurboExpress represents an important step forward in the evolution of portable gaming. Collector's appeal. Today, the TurboExpress has become a prized collector's item. Working units often sell for several $100s, with some pristine models commanding even higher prices. Retro enthusiasts often invest in repairs or modifications, such as upgrading the original screen to modern LCD technology or replacing faulty capacitors. These efforts reflect the enduring fascination with the console's bold but flawed design. For collectors, owning a TurboExpress is more than nostalgia. It's a way to preserve an important chapter in gaming history. Why it was ahead of its time. Ultimately, the TurboExpress's biggest strength, its advanced technology, was also its weakness. It offered a glimpse of portable gaming's future before the market was ready. The high production cost and battery demands made it impractical for everyday gamers, and the lack of a strong software ecosystem limited its mainstream appeal. Even so, its bold innovations foreshadowed many of the features that later became industry standards, proving that NEC was thinking years ahead of the competition.